Flying should feel exciting. You're going somewhere new, maybe on vacation, maybe to see family or friends. But for most of us, the airport experience can ruin it. The long security lines, the heavy bags, the waiting around, and of course that awful jet lag. It can turn any trip into pure stress. But it doesn't have to be this way. In the next few minutes, I'll share simple, proven hacks that will make your travel smoother, faster, and way less stressful. And make sure you stick with me until the very end, because the last few hacks are the ones that truly change the way you fly. By the way, I'll also leave a section in the description with my TSA-approved travel essentials. These are the items I personally recommend to make life easier at the airport. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want more tips that actually make your trips better. All right, let's jump right in, starting with the pre-flight hacks. Let's start with what you can do before you even leave home, because trust me, the way you prepare will decide how stressful or how smooth your trip will feel. First, packing smart. Think about it. How many times have you waited at baggage claim for 30, 40 minutes just for your bag to finally show up, or worse, not show up at all? That stress alone can ruin the start of your trip. If you can, stick to a carry-on. You walk off the plane and you're free. No waiting, no worrying. And inside that bag, make yourself a tiny emergency kit. A phone charger or power bank, some headphones, maybe a protein bar or snacks, and any medicine you can't be without. Flights get delayed, gates change, bags get checked last minute. Having your essentials with you is like carrying peace of mind. Second, go digital. Paper boarding passes get lost, they tear, and digging through your bag when there's a line of people behind you is the worst feeling. With your airline's app, you check in at home, your boarding pass is on your phone, and you'll even get alerts if your gate changes. Instead of running around the airport looking for screens, your phone tells you everything. One less thing to stress about. Third, your flight time matters more than you think. We all hate delays. Here's a little secret: the earlier you fly, the smoother your day usually goes. Early morning flights are less likely to be delayed because the plane is already sitting at the airport from the night before. Plus, the airport is calmer in the morning, shorter lines, fewer people, and you can start your day without the chaos. Fourth, choose your seat wisely. This one sounds small, but it makes a huge difference. If you like stretching your legs or getting up often, take the aisle. If you're the kind of person who just wants to put on headphones, lean on the wall, and not be disturbed, go for the window. And trust me, try to avoid the seats right next to the bathrooms. The traffic, the smells, the noise, you don't want that on a long flight. Now, even if you do everything right before your flight, the airport itself is still the place that tests your patience the most. Security lines, waiting at the gate, overpriced food, that's where the next hacks will save you the most time and stress. Let's talk about security first. You know that feeling when you walk into the security line and it looks like it's never going to end? That's where programs like TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, or Clear come in. They're not free, but if you travel even a few times a year, they're worth it. With TSA PreCheck, you keep your shoes on, your laptop in the bag, and the line moves way faster. Global Entry is amazing for international travelers. You skip the long customs line when you come back to the US. And Clear, it uses your ID and biometrics, so you jump right to the front. One of these passes can literally turn a 40-minute wait into 5 minutes. Second, know your wait times. Instead of showing up and being surprised, use real-time apps like My TSA or your airport's own app. These apps tell you how long the security line is right now, so you can plan when to leave home. No more sitting at the gate for 2 hours because you got there too early, and no more running stressed because you got there too late. Third, don't always follow the crowd. At many airports, one security checkpoint is packed, but another one, just a few minutes walk away, is half empty. Most people follow signs or the herd without thinking. If you check the airport map on your phone, you'll often find a quieter checkpoint that gets you through much faster. A 5-minute walk can save you 30 minutes of waiting. Fourth, food and water. Airport food is overpriced and not always great. Bring an empty water bottle.
You can fill it at a fountain or refill station after security. It saves you from paying $5 for water. And if you're picky about snacks or want healthier options, pack them at home. Having your own food also means you don't have to run around the terminal when you're already tired.
Now here's the thing. You can breeze through security, find your gate early, and even save money on food. But there's still one part of flying that most travelers struggle with. And if you don't handle it right, it can ruin the entire trip. Let's talk about that next. All right, so you've made it past security, you've found your gate, and now you're finally on the plane. But let's be real, this is where a lot of the stress continues. Long hours in a tight seat, no sleep, bad food, jet lag. Let's fix that. First, set up your comfort. A neck pillow might look silly, but on a long flight, it makes all the difference. Add a light blanket or hoodie you can roll up, and you'll actually be able to rest. Compression socks are another game changer. They keep your legs from swelling and make you feel less tired when you land. And most important, hydration. Airplane cabins are super dry, so drink water often. Even small sips every half hour will keep you feeling fresher. Second, beat jet lag before it beats you. If you're crossing time zones, your body clock gets confused. A simple trick: start shifting your sleep a little the day before you fly. Even 1 hour earlier or later helps. Once on the plane, use light exposure to your advantage. If it's daytime where you're going, try to stay awake. If it's nighttime, close the window shade, put on an eye mask, and sleep. Some travelers also use a small dose of melatonin after landing to help reset their body clock. It's not magic, but it really works if you time it right. Third, plan your entertainment. Airplane Wi-Fi is often slow, and sometimes it doesn't even work. Before your trip, download shows, podcasts, or music to your phone. Bring noise-canceling headphones or at least good earbuds. They block the engine noise and crying babies, so you can actually relax or focus. And if you're someone who likes to be productive, flights are a perfect time to clear emails or read that book you keep putting off. Okay, so the flight itself is handled, but what about the moment you land? That's where stress can sneak back in, and for many people, it's the hardest part of travel. Let's talk about that next. So you've landed, you're tired, maybe a little hungry, but the journey isn't over yet. In fact, this is the part where most travelers lose patience. Let's make sure that's not you. First, baggage claim. We've all been there, standing forever, waiting for that belt to start moving, and wondering if your suitcase even made it. Here's what helps. Don't stand right where everyone else crowds. Bags usually come out in waves, and they drop first at 1 or 2 spots along the belt. Stand a little away from the crowd, right where the bags actually land, and you'll grab yours before everyone else. Even better, use a smart tag or a tracker in your luggage. If your bag ever goes missing, you'll know exactly where it is instead of waiting for the airline to figure it out. Second, make your exit smart. After a long flight, all you want to do is get out of the airport, but lines for taxis and rideshares can eat up another 30 minutes. The trick? Check your airport's rideshare zones ahead of time. Many airports have a separate pickup area, often less crowded than the main exit. If you're using public transport, download the local transport app before you fly. Buying a ticket on your phone instead of standing in a long line at a machine saves both time and energy. Third, clearing immigration. If you travel internationally, you know this can be brutal. Long lines when you're already exhausted. Here's where mobile passport control and e-gates come in. Mobile Passport is a free app approved by US Customs that lets you scan your passport and answer questions on your phone. When you arrive, you use a special line that's often way shorter. In some airports abroad, e-gates work the same way if you have a biometric passport. It feels like skipping a line at an amusement park. You breeze through while others are still waiting. Do these few things right after landing and you'll cut down the most annoying part of your trip, waiting when you just want to move on. Now, before we wrap up, there's one bonus hack that can completely change the way you travel forever. And honestly, it's the simplest of them all.
All right, let me give you one last bonus hack, and honestly, it's the one that keeps me the calmest whenever I travel. Always build a delay buffer into your plans. Because here's the truth, flights get delayed all the time. Weather, maintenance, late arrivals, none of that is in your control. But what you can control is how much it ruins your day. If you've got something important like a big meeting, a wedding, or even a cruise, don't book a flight that lands just a few hours before. Arrive the night before if you can. And if you've got a connecting flight, make sure there's plenty of time in between. That little buffer is the difference between sitting at the gate in full panic mode or just calmly waiting it out, knowing your plans are safe. Now, think back to everything we covered today. We talked about packing smart, so you're never caught without essentials. We looked at how going digital with boarding passes and apps saves time. We went over why early flights mean fewer delays, how the right seat can make you more comfortable, and how security programs like PreCheck or Clear cut those endless lines. I showed you how to avoid overpriced airport food, how to set yourself up for comfort in the air with a neck pillow, socks, and water, and even how to fight jet lag by using light and adjusting your sleep. And finally, once you land, we covered smart moves at baggage claim, skipping the taxi chaos, and breezing through immigration with the right tools. These aren't complicated tricks, but put them together and suddenly flying feels less like a battle and more like something you can actually enjoy. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's the most stressful thing you've ever dealt with while flying? Share it in the comments and I'll be checking and replying with extra tips. And if these hacks gave you even one new idea for your next trip, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more travel tips on the way. Your next flight can feel like first class even if you're sitting in economy. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.